Grenada team. So that would be good for us. My name is Fiaz Shah. I'm the education manager for UNICEF East Caribbean Area Office. I'm based in Barbados, and we cover the 12 countries. I've been working with Grenada closely with P.S. Andal, but I understand and his team. But I understand there is some transition, so that's why I think it's good to know if we are continuing those people who are working on this project, or if there are new people involved, and how the handover takeover within the ministry will take place, as much as we would like handover from NotesMaster to the ministry. That's it for now. Dean, you want to go first, or you
Sure,
want the ministry?
I'll go first. That's fine. I'll go first. Thank you, sir. Hi, I'm Dean Dundas. I'm one of the NotesMaster team here, supervising all operations around the world. I have been working with the team in Grenada, collaborating with Mr. Hyperlight, Ms. Finlay, and the previous permanent secretary, and the range of reviewers who may pop in and have a listen and at this time. So that's me, Dean Dundas, and I've been the sort of liaison with Mr. Hyperlight, who's a project manager here. So thank you.
Hey everybody. I think as Dean has gone, I should have done the same as well. My name is Daman Clark. I think everybody knows me here. I am in charge of the operations for the Caribbean, and it's been a really good experience with NotesMaster over the years, with Grenada in particular, and Mrs. Finley. We have shared so many visions, and it's really a breath of fresh air to finally bring to fruition something that we have expressed and spoken about over time. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to the next phase.
Thank you, Damon.
Good morning, Kwame Bullets, the project manager for Grenada. It was a pleasure working along with Dean, Moso, and Damon for the execution of this project.
Thank you, Mr. Hyperlight.
Good morning. I'm Josephine, or get my camera. Good morning, I'm Josephine, Acting Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Grenada. It has been indeed really encouraging to see the number of teachers and educators, education officers who were partnering to bring this project to fruition. We do look forward to the availability of that content to all our teachers and the enriching environment which it should create for our students. So thanks to NotesMaster and UNICEF for partnering in this way to make this content development exercise a reality.
Thank you, Madam President. Okay, I think that is there are others on the call, but I think in terms of the main persons, that is it. I shall, in the interest of time, are we happy with that, Mr. Shah? Fiaz, are you okay? Shall I proceed, or anything else you would like to say before I get started?
I would like to just reiterate the purpose of this meeting.
Okay, please go ahead.
And then we can go ahead with the presentation. The sole purpose of this meeting is to first, of course, appreciate the efforts of each other and appreciate the partnership. At the same time, to ensure that there is the recognition in the ministry and the ownership of these contents, that we know and we have a formal report on it that they will be placed where in ministry's custody and how these will be used in the future, and what is the next step and next effort needed to make sure that these contents are fully utilized for the purpose they are developed for. And also, I would like to know, because I hear, are these contents only used for school closure, or can these be used for while the schools are open, and how ministry plans to use them? That's mainly I would like to know. After the handover, and we know from Dean that how it will be placed, how developed, what is the quality, then we would like to also have a discussion on how will these be used and where will these be placed. So that's the purpose, that we have a shared understanding and develop and agree on steps, what next after this. So that's why we wanted to have this meeting. And I would like to really, Dean and Damon, request a report after this meeting on all these areas which I mentioned, that how many contents developed, how many teachers been trained, where these will be placed, how these will be used, and so forth.
Okay, certainly.
Up to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shah. So I'll just share my screen here and just pull up a little bit of just a small agenda, which you might see here. There's a small agenda for us today. I'll give some opening remarks, and then if Mr. Shah wished to say anything about the program and where it fitted into UNICEF's portfolio and so on, I'll hand over to him. And then one of the program's participants, Ms. Bartholomew, she will deliver a little demonstration of the content that she has created of the program, so showing how she accessed the platform and what she produced, and you're at liberty to ask her any questions if you wish. And then Ms. Finlay will deliver some remarks, maybe speaking to some of your questions, Mr. Shah, which relates to utility of the content and accessibility and so forth. And then Mr. Hypolite will give his remarks on how the program went, and then we shall close. So not too long, but hopefully a little bit rewarding. So from my side, I will jump back here. I'll just share my view on what has happened and give a little bit of I suppose, a summary on where we are and how we ended up here. Fundamentally, the program is based around primary and secondary. So the teachers work to author subjects across 3 primary subjects and a number of different secondary subjects. It was a large program, and for the most part, it has been an extremely successful program. We had a challenging environment because COVID was quite prominent when the program was first initiated. We had virtual training. I think we also had quite a degree of positivity at the start. People were, I won't say crying out, but it was something in my discussions with CEO Ms. Finlay, something that was well received, and something that really allowed individuals to express themselves. So the process, just to highlight for the purpose of anybody who may watch this afterwards, the process really was a workshop training individuals to author content that was then reviewed and supported by NotesMaster on a daily basis. And that was then given a quality review in terms of alignment to the curriculum by a reviewer. So each subject had writers and reviewers, and they worked as a team, with the reviewer effectively being the team lead. And in that respect, in some subjects, not all, a community of practice emerged where discussions ensued on how best to tackle particular topics. We, across the different areas, for example, music here, We had a combination of the music programs in different. We tried to bring a collaborative approach. Antigua was doing music, so if Trinidad was doing music, we would bring those writers together in the WhatsApp group. So in some subjects, though, and I emphasize collaborative, in some subjects, some teachers, due to COVID, due to personal challenges, withdrew from the program. And some writers then faced the initially daunting task of authoring the content themselves. We provided regular support in this case from very simple things. Good morning, Mr. So-and-so. Good morning, Miss. How are you doing? And it effectively became, if I could put it this way, you were buddying up with someone. So they didn't feel that they were developing in isolation. And so they felt they had someone they could ask a question to. How do I do this? How does this work? What is involved here? And I think that went very well. The review process has gone very well. The program's target is to cover the curriculum. That's a huge thing. So all areas of the curriculum have content. Some subjects are larger than others. So some writers are going beyond their stated allocation and will still be working, continuing to work. The collaborative spirit has also ensued with some subjects where one or two writers dropped out and an individual has decided to take it on themselves to finish it all. And it has been, from my perspective, a pleasure to work with in that scenario. We had some internal challenges where payment was late, and we did our best to provide communication to the writers and reviewers. I'm very pleased to say when payment did arrive, the writers and reviewers resumed the task with the same fervor and enthusiasm as when they started, and the output has been really quite good. Some writers producing 3 figures, over 100 lessons. So it has been really interesting to see them, from my perspective, utilize something that would work. So in terms of the question Mr. Shah asked, they are teachers essentially creating content that they will use in their own everyday teaching. So the materials here can be used by the authors for the start of the new school term. So they're not just for when school closes, they are for now. They can create a class on the platform, invite their students to join the platform, or they could use it as a point of reference for a student to go and read up on a lesson they might have missed. Okay? So from my point of view, we transition into a rollout. It is a Ministry of Education-led rollout where the content will be placed on the ministry's LMS. That's part of the Phase 2 approach. The content will be accessible via the ministry's LMS, and they will have a downloaded copy of it. It'll be hosted on NotesMaster for a number of different reasons in terms of accessibility and bandwidth and tailoring the display of the content. But it will be open and is open to all in Grenada to embrace. It also falls under a little DPG library, so you don't have to log in to access the content. You can go to the platform, click on the DPG library, select Grenada for some subjects, and you will find the content there. The library so far is working very well. It's technology. I'm happy to say that we've not had too many bugs with that. It's performed very well. And in the coming months, we should have the mobile app available. I know apps are very prominent here. The library's just rolled out, so we are repackaging the library so it can be accessed via a downloadable app. It is also mobile responsive, so if a student has a phone, they can go on the phone today to access the phone via Chrome or Safari, etc. on their phones. So that's my summary. It has been a pleasure. I have formed a lot of lovely relationships with individuals because you become personally involved when they advise you they haven't made a target or they've missed a deadline and they're sorry about this, and you try to provide them with help and support. So it really has been a long and tough journey, rewarding. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about Grenadian culture and how people are, and learned a little bit of local lingo. But it's not over yet. So we will finish off the elements, produce the reports, and share. And then, of course, we will transition to the most important side, which is making sure this material is utilized. So for me, thank you. I thank management, Mr. Hypolite. I very much thank Ms. Finlay, because I have been talking with Ms. Finlay for many years about a program in Grenada. So it's been a personal triumph to actually have something that has produced content that is useful not just for persons in Grenada, but right across the OECS and right across the Caribbean as well. So thank you to Ms. Finlay. And of course, thank you to any reviewers who have joined, and thank you to the writers. Our journey continues, but I'm, as always, here to assist you should you need it. So thank you, everyone. I will now just pop up on the screen, just for anyone who has just joined and maybe might have missed. We have just a little agenda here. So from his perspective, I'll just draft it into view here. Mr. Shah, if you have any remarks you'd like to make about the program, interacting with Grenada, how Grenada fits into your regional portfolio, please take five minutes or so to share that with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean. Well, I think I already made most of the remarks I wanted to make. I just like to appreciate just this partnership with NotesMasters and with Ministry of Education in Grenada. We have long-standing relationship with the ministry, and we work on every year. We have a work plan, and we hope to continue that in same spirit. I know there are other initiatives ongoing, which one of the things which I didn't mention earlier. We also have partnership with OECS for development of digital contents, and they also are planning to have their own platform. So, but those for Grenada, we only agreed that they will do from K to 3. So I understand the primary, those are KG contents, but primary are already developed, and those are in 3 primary subjects. OECS is also doing it in 4 primary subjects, which are the 4 core subjects they mainly use. So I would also, in the end, would like to know how we make it a joint effort, how we combine our efforts. And make sure that there is no overlap, and also there is complementarity, whether it is use of the platform or it is use of the content. Once again, I really appreciate ministry's colleagues, the curriculum writers, and my good friends Dean and Daman, who have always been supportive. So I'll just stop here. Back to you, Dean.
Okay, thank you. I think from my side, I would just give a little comment on that sort of cross collaboration. The nature of the library, the DPG library, enables the primary content authored by the writers in Grenada to be accessible across all platforms. So it's not a case that should there be individuals in the OECS, other OECS countries who wish to use. So the primary subjects are English language, integrated science, and social studies. So those materials are available. They'll be available across any platform. So they're hosted on NotesMaster. They're in the library, but they can be accessed via the DPG library, but without the need to log in. So you can literally open a lesson, and just like you would link anything to a web page, you could copy the link and paste it into your Teams or your Google Classroom or your Edmodo. So the material is accessible everywhere. And when the student clicks on it, there's no what we call barriers to entry. They get straight to the content. They don't have to navigate the syllabus. It's there at the point of need and can be used. So that element should, if the OECS wish, can combine the content from this program onto their platform. So maybe you have a compendium, a bigger, a larger body. So what I'll transition to now, I did kindly ask Miss Naz Bartholomew if she wouldn't mind doing a presentation today to just highlight to us some of the content that she has created as part of the program. I believe if this Teams is working, it somehow doesn't seem to be working, give you the option to share your screen. Do you have the option to share your screen, Justina?
Good morning, everyone. I am not too sure yet.
I think it's top.
Because this is the first time I'm using Teams.
Oh, okay, so top right.
I clicked on share and I see share content.
Yep, and then pick the screen that you want to share it with. Pick the screen, and then we should see your screen come up.
Okay. Content only. I have clicked, but I'm not seeing. Have you seen my screen come up?
Not as yet. So you clicked share, and when you clicked share, do you have a little pop-up that says the screen to share? Which screen you want to share, does it?
Yes.
And if you click on under screen, if you click on one of those screens, that's all you need to do. Click on the screen, and it should share for you.
Okay. Are you seeing it now?
I'm seeing some action. Yeah. We have action. And take it away, madam. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, again. I am sharing this lesson here that says factors that influence voter participation in an election. And this is an introduction, so the students can toy with a jiffy here. And then we have what makes a person decide to vote or not. This lesson will help you to understand what factors influence voter participation in an election. And we're moving on, that's the content here. And here we have a page that shows voter turnout in Grenada 2018, so the children can have a look at what happened then. And then we have a video that would help
voter participation. Voting gives each citizen the chance to influence the political process. Not voting reduces or eliminates a citizen's influence. It's like someone asking if you want chocolate or strawberry ice cream and you don't answer. When you get stuck with strawberry, you only have yourself to blame. This video is going to focus on factors that influence a citizen's decision to vote or not vote. Citizens who vote tend to have a high sense of voter efficacy.
Okay,
this means you believe your vote actually has influence.
And then we have a
citizens who choose not to vote often feel the opposite. Voter.
And that slide share, again, the students are exposed to the factors. It can help them to really consolidate what they would have learned. And then we move to that part where there's a quiz. So I would have created this quiz, and the students will have to answer true or false. And they click, and the answer is there. Then we come to that part where we allow the student to move out of the technology and do something else. So you have learned what influences voter participation. Suggest strategies to increase voter turnout among younger people, and say why each of your strategies will be successful. And then we have our summary. And at the bottom, we have references and attributions. So that's one of the lessons. Sorry about that. This one is another one, and this one is characteristics of effective parenting. Again, we begin with a nice page, the introduction, explanation, and then we have an image here, another video again about the same lesson. And in this lesson, I could not have found a slideshow, so I created this one using Canva. And so you can look at what I would have created. So I would have created this for the students. Content. Thank you. And again, we have the activity. This one is a course quiz created using Woodward. And students will have fun with this one again. The course is there. Then we have the also technology question, or summary again, and the references and attributions. I have another one to show you again, the structure of government, and we're looking at the legislature. Here we have a little picture, introduction, content and image that I would have created again. And here we have a video that would explain the legislative branch. And I was excited about creating quizzes. I would have created this one for the students to use on the legislative branch. Take a look. So the query contains the same information that's in the contents. Okay, and then we got to our quiz. And here is an exciting crossword for students. And some further research, write a paper outlining two differences between the unicameral and the bicameral legislature, our summary, and the references and attributions. I think that's about it.
And that is wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I picked on you, and you were very kind to oblige. So thank you so much, Ms. Naz Bartholomew.
You're welcome.
I will just say a couple of remarks on those lessons demonstrated. So there has been an attempt to standardize the approach, so all writers will effectively have content that looks similar to Ms. Naz Bartholomew. So the learner will go through and have a similar set of experiences regardless of the subject that they are reviewing, learning, selecting. Teachers, and one of the key things here, which we sort of try to differentiate with a program like this and other terms you may hear of, open textbook or ebook, the content can be deconstructed. So this is designed fundamentally to be a foundation set of interactive content, and Ms. Naz Bartholomew has shown a wide repertoire of skills there with the word wall, the H5P, embedding a slide share, but also creating a Prezi. So a lot of time and effort has gone in there. So thank you very much for that, for social studies secondary. But the intention now is it can be used as is by teachers or pupils. But equally, if a teacher sees that in Grenada or across the OECS, he or she can add elements or remove elements. So the intention is to give them sort of a foundation set that can be continually enhanced. And should the ministry want to engage and create new content or make updates, we are hoping that the teachers and the reviewers have been so capacitated, so engaged, and let's say with a new skill set, can undertake this themselves. So without having to go back and seek NotesMaster help or UNICEF help, if they want to create for a new subject, they should be able to. If they want the whole support element, fine, that's a different thing. But if a teacher in a classroom wants to create his or her own geography lesson, then he or she can do. So we're hoping for, as part of the phase 2 rollout, a significant transference of knowledge to stakeholders in schools, be it principals or teachers, so they too feel that this is something that they can do. So it's authored by teachers in the classroom, in the staff room, and hopefully they don't feel that this is, oh my gosh, how on earth do you get a crossword in? How do you do that quiz? So the intention is to sort of broaden the horizon, but also open the eyes to what's possible. And if it looks too daunting, just be aware someone stood next to you or sat in the staff room, he or she authored that. So if you have a challenge, just ask them. That's the intention here, so that everybody can be so digitally immersed. So that's a little summary there. Mr. Shah, did you have any questions for the author, or yeah, go ahead, sir.
Well, thank you. This was really a good demonstration. I really, it's just like others we have, and this is excellent work. And your comment was also very pleasing that now they have the capacity in the ministry. My question is not from the colleague who shared the content, but it's more from you, Dean. Can these content be used for places where there is no connectivity, or can these be packaged in a smaller courses?
Yes. So
to be used for recovery of education in some places, or so if you can a little bit shed some light on it.
okay. Yes. So in summary, it is an online platform, but we are developing in partnership actually with the Commonwealth of Learning as well, and what we call an offline NotesMaster. So this is something that would be downloaded and uploaded to a device, a little intranet device. You might have heard of an Aptus that the Commonwealth of Learning push, or a Rachel PI that a company called One World is quite prominent with in Southern Africa. And NotesMaster and the content are uploaded to this device.
Can you share these names again with me?
Yeah, I will share links with you. So the Commonwealth of Learning use what they call an Aptus PI. So the Aptus AP, yeah, APTUS. So it's an Aptus PI. I'll send you a link to it afterwards. Okay. And the Aptus PI, I'll just spend a moment discussing it. The program in Antigua Barbuda are actually trialing an Aptus for Barbuda. Now the Aptus PI, you can buy it on Amazon for about $150 US. What currently happens is we do the offline version, we package the content, we send it to Commonwealth of Learning, who put it on an SD card and send it to the respective Ministry of Education. So in Belize, they're receiving 15 new Aptus devices. For our program in Mozambique and Southern Africa, that Ministry of Education are receiving 40 devices. And the intention is you can connect up to 25 students per Aptus device. So the teacher would take this device into class and students would connect using their smartphones or tablets or laptops if they have, and be able to browse the content. So the platform will be accessible. There's two challenges with the actual content. If the content is downloaded onto NotesMaster, then it will work perfectly fine in the Aptus. We will just download the whole big file, and that will sit in the NotesMaster offline framework. So both the NotesMaster platform and the content are uploaded to the offline device. For videos that have been pulled in from YouTube, we would have to download those videos and upload them to the platform. And for quizzes which have been created in sort of the Wordwall or H5P, we would look for an alternative solution if it is an embedded quiz, so that the interactive test element can still be undertaken. So in summary, yes, there is an explicit part of this NotesMaster portfolio that is dealing with an offline program for countries in Belize and the Caribbean, and Southern Africa, and other parts of the Caribbean. But this is also, the NotesMaster app will also act in this way. So if you can access and download the app, then it functions in a sort of offline environment where the content can be updated, but you can browse certain content without the need for connectivity.
Just a follow-up question. Thank you very much for taking time to explain this. This Aptus Spy, which is 150 USD, how much content that can hold, and how many people can access through that? Okay, so the Aptus PI is the size of it. It's about 128 gigabytes SD card. So you can have SD cards, so kind of cards you put in a camera, 28 megabytes, 64, 128 gigabytes. They go all the way up to that. So what we would do, for example, for the program in Mozambique, we would put their content in the library and download the offline library version. So it's like, if you think of the NotesMaster Aptus version, it's like the DPG library. Essentially, it's the DPG library in an offline mode of access. So we would then download the library and the content for that country. That country's content and the offline NotesMaster platform will be uploaded to their Aptus. And when they connect via their devices and their phones, they would be able to
they would be able to see the content. I believe, just to say, Ms. Finlay has her hand up, and I'm notified that the CEO may have to leave early. So would you mind if I just jump to her and return to this in a moment? Okay. Please go ahead, Ms. Finlay. Thank you, and sorry for the delay.
No apology needed at all. Okay. Again, I want to express my appreciation for the evidence of quality work that has been put out by curriculum officers, teachers, principals who have all partnered on this journey, which, as I said, it was a long one and the hardest one given all the challenges, the impact of COVID. So I must commend all the persons who stuck to it to get us to this point. So well done, and they deserve a round of applause, being encouraged by Damon and Dean. So without that threesome of persons, I don't think we would have got to this point. And obviously it was a very enriching one for the team from Grenada with Kwame as their lead support person, point person, and the expertise that has been garnered with all the tools, the software that they have learned to manipulate. Now, I did hear you say that it doesn't stop there, that some of the software would continue to be available to persons so that other teachers can come on board and also create content as they go along. However, in terms of the content that is now available, I know that it should be accessible by teachers and also by students. Looking at what Ms. Justina Bartholomew has displayed as a full lesson from introduction to assessment, reflection, closure, it also gives an indication that students can undertake self-paced learning through the use of the content. What my query was, though, is the way in which that content would be structured. Will it be structured by level to say KG, that a student who wants the objective specific to KG can go in there and just go to a KG part of the platform? Or would it be by strand or by objectives that persons would have to know what objective? So that the arrangement of the content on the NotesMaster platform. Unfortunately, we do not have our active LMS at this time. We face some challenges with it. So it would seem that we have to rely on NotesMaster to access the content through their platform. In that regard, a little more detailed on how the teachers would get in, how the students then would get in. What would be the pathway to students, especially those in the lower grades, primary school level? How much support would they need to get on? This part I would want a little bit of clarification on.
Okay, thank you, CEO Ms. Finlay. So the structure of the platform is fundamentally based around the syllabus, the local syllabus. So participants will essentially go to NotesMaster and they will not have to sign up or log in, but if they chose to, they would have a syllabus structure. So the nature, and maybe I just briefly share my screen to just highlight the different approaches. So I'll just drag this down here, and if I just flick back here, share screen. I'll only be a few minutes. I know time is of the essence, so I'll just click to share, and it pops up, and I go here. So for the program, and we can discuss this with the rollout with Mr. Hypolite and such. We have created Ministry of Education classes for each of the subjects. So the content will be put into one of these classes. So if you click on a class, it's an open class. Anyone can access the class, and the class has, any teacher can also create a class if they wanted to use it as a day-to-day tool to take attendance or set assignments that can be graded online, etc. But the content is organized according to the syllabus. So the sections, and then the topics, and then the specific objectives, and the content resides under the specific objective. For the program, the participants collaborated in two groups, a secondary level group and a primary level group. If I jump to the primary level group has the subjects from the program. So if I selected language arts, if I'm a primary, I can see grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I clicked on grade 5, I could see the topics coming under grade 5. And if I click on the topic, I can see the specific objectives coming under each. And I can roll through. And those with numbers show you which has content. So this is from Miss Frances Goulston, and I can click on it and it will open in a new window here. So the structure is the syllabus at the primary level. And this is a nice lesson, just randomly clicked on by Miss Goulston with her video, a Prezi. So, and an interactive video, which is very nice. So they can watch the video, and as they watch, they will be asked questions to sort of retain their attention. So, you know, main idea, I can click on this and a little question. So more geared to the primary level as opposed to perhaps a little bit more comprehensive at the CSEC level. And again, the graphics are more geared at the primary level. Here it is Creative Commons, it's open content, anybody can use it. So you have a share button here. If I am a teacher in Grenada, I can come to the platform, I can click share. And if I have my own primary class for English, I can share Miss Goulston's content to my class. So I haven't had to create anything. I can use this content in my own online class for my own students. If, on the other hand, I wanted to enhance it, perhaps I wanted to add some more information or change some things, I could use the copy button at the bottom right and copy the content. And that way I'm able to make some edits and changes so it reflects my own style. It will not be labeled as Miss Goulston's anymore, Frances Goulston. It will be labeled as mine, the teacher who copied it. If I choose not to do that and I'm just sharing the content from the program, every time the author updates it, any teacher that has it shared to their class, it'll automatically be updated. So even if the OECS use this content idea and supporting details on their platform, anytime it's updated here, it will be updated everywhere. So in summary, it is a structure, a class structure that could be used, which has the syllabus. Or if I want to come to the platform and I don't log in, I can simply come, if I click log out here, I can browse the DPG library. So browse the DPG library and I can select my region, which is Caribbean, and then I can work my way through some of the more specific contents, be there for Barbados, for Antigua, Grenada primary learning standards. And if there's anything available at the moment, and I'll click on it and the notes will be available here. So once we've published everything here to the library, following the handover today, all a learner has to do is come to the platform, select library, select Caribbean, select Grenada and search. They don't have to log in and they don't have to sign up. So the intention is to try and make it as easy as possible, to try and be as neutral on the interface. So there's no adverts, no flashing bits, no additional promotions. It's a agnostic learning space where the color and the vibrancy of the content are what leap off the page and not necessarily bright colors, because we have to think about accessibility for alternative need learners and so on. So we just want a very blank, almost boring background space, but populated with vibrant content. So in summary, as a last point, when it comes to the CXC syllabus, again, we use CSEC syllabus. So if I just click here, you'll see for music, you have the sections and then the topics and then the objectives. So this is a program from Trinidad. It's music from Trinidad, but this is also accessible to anyone in Grenada coming. So they are not just limited to the content from this program, but they're exposed to all of the content from the different programs Mr. Shah at UNICEF has been funding here. So it's like a little library where if they can't find it under Grenada, they can look anywhere else. And the same options of sharing and copying also apply. So that's what makes it quite unique. And this is the CXE syllabus, so we don't modify it or change it. That's the structure in place. So it should be recognizable to all teachers across the region. So thanks for the question.
Thank you, Dean, for that great clarification. Yes, and expounding. So it's a really exciting time for us, and we'll have to herald it and proclaim it so that all can see that wonderful and embrace that wonderful pool of resources that should help to transform the classrooms under our ministry's transformative agenda. Really, IT technology integration is at the fore. So these resources, the release, the handover could not be more timely.
Thank you very much, Ms. Finlay, for your remarks there. So I see your hand is Mr. Shah, so please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was really good. I have a small question from Madam CEO, Ms. Finlay. I understand there is a meeting going on the 14th of September, maybe in Grenada, named the Breakfast, hosted by Ministry and OECS and maybe USAID. And they would be most probably discussing digital education. Are we, is Ministry planning to share what you have, these great resources with them? Are we gonna make them aware of this, or it's not at the agenda? Do you know about it? Over.
Yes, yes, I received an invitation last week to be part of that breakfast. The agenda, I have not picked up the agenda just yet, but I was asked to indicate my availability. But certainly based on the objective of the breakfast, there is room where we can definitely highlight what's happening in Grenada. So this would be a real beacon to promote, to highlight, yes, what that means for education for Grenada. So once that opportunity is there, which I do believe it will be, I would share accordingly.
Yeah, that's excellent, because this is not to say, because they are also coming with a program, as I mentioned. They might mention that USAID is supporting K to 3 development of digital contents for grade K to 3. But we can also say what next could be done with this content, and how we are not closing the door for anything. We are, in fact, we want to expand and consolidate in a way that we have all the syllabus covered in digital learning and accessible. So, but we also don't want to, do things which are already done. So that's why it would be important for this to be shared, that this level of resources we already have, and that's our plan how to move forward and go forward on it. Thank you so much for this information. I will be in that meeting, although remotely.
Okay, thank you.
Dean, back to
yes, you. Thank you very much. So thank you all so far for the comments and remarks. The last individual, if I just, you might see the
did we schedule. Lose connection? Or?
Did we lose connection? No, I think we're...
I'm out.
Are you out? No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you, yeah. So
Dean,
just sharing,
if you're talking, we don't hear you.
You don't... Hello, do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, now. Right. Yes. No. So good day. Thank you, everyone. In line with the timeline here, I'm mindful of the time. So we'll bring the session to a close with the management remarks from Mr. Hypolite, who has overseen the program, known its many ups and downs, and been very supportive along the way with ideas and forthcoming advice on how to nurse the program through its more troubled times. So just for your remarks and thoughts on this process, Mr. Hypolite, I'll hand over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, very much, Dean. And let me start by saying that from the Kingdom Come, when I started teaching, we oftentimes heard of wanting to go in this direction of assisting teachers in the production of content, ensuring that it's available, that we can have it incorporated. I've heard this on many occasions. And I'm so happy that we are able to be at this point where we are able to have authored a large quantity of content that teachers, not only the ones authoring, but the teachers throughout Grenada can use to be incorporated in the lessons. I use to assist them in planning and assist in ensuring that they get ideas to adequately reach on and teach our students. These lessons, I believe, will assist in filling a lot of the gaps in the curriculum, in the syllabuses that is used, and would assist teachers in ensuring that, and the students, in ensuring that we create these other independent learners that we should be having from time to time. The content would be expected. It's expected that teachers would use it as a reference. We use it as a reference in their daily planning. We use it as a means of incorporating their lesson and ensuring that students, and even parents are able to utilize the content in ensuring that we improve teaching and learning. And this is why we are so happy that we are able to get to phase 2, where we'll be able to assist teachers and students in accessing the content and holding and
I think you just froze for a moment there, sir. So if you would repeat.
Yeah, so I'll say that what I said is that we are happy to be able to get to the point of phase 2, where we'll be able to work with our teachers, students, parents, other stakeholders in being able to access the content and also effectively incorporating them in the learning process. As a Ministry of Education, we continue to work with NotesMaster in terms of ensuring that we have access to the content via the platform in the first instance, as we finalize our LMS from our end. Our technical team, the IT guys, we are exploring. Some of them are exploring opportunities to ensure that we are able to have our very own LMS here in Grenada, which would ensure that the access and utilization of the content can be would certainly increase thereafter. We would work with our internet servicing agencies, as we did in the past, in possibly ensuring that this content is somewhat zero rated and that the students would be able to access these contents throughout. At present, and it's a good thing that I am also the lead for the OECS program. We are working with the OECS in ensuring that we have that collaboration of the content that we are presently working on to roll out, and also any other means of content creation, any other program that we Grenada will pursue in the near future or is presently pursuing, that content is being to be accessible by the OECS, and that we are able to fill the gaps where we do not have the content presently in at our level here in Grenada. So we'll definitely be continuing that effort in ensuring that we are able at our regional level in terms of working together with our other nations, the other nations, in ensuring that we have content right across the board for all areas. it's been a pleasure, and I want to say thank you to UNICEF for funding the program and ensuring that we are able to meet the goals and objectives. The colleagues at NotesMaster, again, the real heavy bearers, and continuing that increasing our knowledge and assisting us in many ways in ensuring that we are able to achieve the same. To the reviewers and the developers, the true superheroes in it all, being able to meet our targets, being able to surpass the targets, you must be thanked. We must be thanked, which we are extremely appreciative of the efforts and what you have done thus far. We know that you will continue to champion the cause of the use of this content at your school level. We are going to certainly collaborate with you in ensuring that the same is done at staff development sessions at the school level. Additionally, we would expect that as we go, if there are new content that you wish to update or so forth, that will continue to work with us in ensuring that we are able to do so. So we want to say thank you very much. We look forward to the second phase of the incorporation of the learn of the access to this content for the use.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hyperlife. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you also. I would second the hard work of the reviewers and the certainly the writers as well. So from my side, I know we were carded to finish at 3. It is a school. School is on. School is flourished. So everyone is particularly busy. If there is any other remarks, I'll hand back to Mr. Shah to formally say that the content has been handed over, and we can enjoy our days in enriched vein. So from my side, thank you all very much for participating here today and taking the time to join us. So thank you.
Just one more thing in terms of the number of resources. Did you have a final total of number of resources that are now available?
We just bear with me. The number will increase because they're going above and beyond to complete and do their stuff. So far, it's in terms of completed lessons, it's 2,271. But in terms of individual interactive elements,
Just give me that number again, please.
2,271 completed lessons. So, like what Miss Bartholomew demonstrated today. At this time, there's 2,271 of those completed lessons. But to the credit of the teachers, as you see, a lesson is a mixture of a lot. So there's a lot more what we call high quality. She's had to learn Prezi and then learn storyboard and learn word wall. So in terms of lots of different elements, a teacher could go to that lesson and just use the Prezi, delete everything else, and build a lesson around just one of the high quality elements. So in terms of high quality scenarios, it's at least 6,000 high quality elements that's been created. So it's easy to look at a lesson as a whole, but really the work involved with the video, with certainly the quiz, and then certainly with the presentation, it's more than the sum of its parts, if I be so cliched to say.
Most definitely.
Over to you, Mr. Shah. Thank you. Just your mic, sir. Just your mic.
And Dean, one more question. Those quizzes are all self-correcting?
Yes. So there, you put the answer in, and they give you instant feedback straight away. Yeah.
Good day. Dean, one question, please.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the software that the teachers had access to, will we still have access to them, like the H5P?
Yes. So you will always have access to H5P as part of this program. Yes.
Okay, great.
Well, Colleagues, thank you very much. It has been really a great meeting. I really appreciate all of us being part of it. Really, the ministry and Dean is always kind with his explanations, and his team is always there to support. We don't want to stop here. We will move on. Just a small request. We will, Dean, you will make a final report of it with your final payment, saying all these things which
Yes.
you said. Even if
Yes.
you can give someone this meeting and they can go through the notes and make a good report. I would request Mr. Hoplite to also, if he can send me a new face, because that old face was sent in the previous admin, and we have new, if you can send me new face for the payment, last payment of NotesMasters, and I think your payment have been received recently. And there is another payment on TES, maybe I heard that has not been received. I'm following up on that. Maybe that's a very small payment, but I heard it has not been received. The Transformation of Education Summit consultancy. That's I don't know who is following up on that from the ministry, but I'll get back to you on that one next course. So thank you very much, everybody. Again, I really appreciate that. We look forward to go for second phase and see what can be done in the next year.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. And with those remarks, I'll bring the meeting to a close. So I wish you all a very good day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Ms. Finley. Bye, Mr. Hippolyte.
Bye. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
We have to relax, we soft, man.